Hi guys, so I thought I would pop up a video of a kind of a check-in after I refresh this bin here and see how it's doing. I'm not going to really mess with them very much. I just want to peek at them, and there was quite a bit of moisture that I collected right there. And see kind of how it looks today. Oh, you stupid little bugs. They're getting smart. They're going to the pooper. Oh, they're getting smart. So far it looks good. Looks like it definitely dried out quite a bit. Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. It looks like it dried out considerably. Ooh, a little fungus gnat. Oh, you little butt. Let's see what it looks like a little further down. Gosh, it still looks pretty wet down there. And this is the side I am currently drying out. And it is a bit drier. Oh, I found a plastic. I need a garbage can right here. So it's definitely dried out quite a bit. It's not as wet, so that's good. It's still gonna be a bit though. Stupid gnat. For the simple fact that this stuff was really wet. And that's why I've got the fungus gnats. So let's see the feeding end. So far that looks like that's pretty good. It's not, it's wet, but it's not as wet as what it was. So that actually looks pretty good. Oh, all worms are moving around. Probably a relation to those guys. Okay, now let's look at this end. Fungus gnat. They're hanging out in the paper now. They're getting smart. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spray them again. It's not as bad as what it was though, so that's always a good thing. But let's see. So this was the side we fed. I just kind of want to take a peek at the food. If I can find the food. I think I found the food. It's nice and warm in here. Yeah, I think this was the food side. Well, they're working on it. I don't want to mess with them too much because my whole point's not to really mess with them. I just want to check on the moisture content and see if it's gone down a little bit. But they're working on it. They're over there. They're being busy little bees. So that is always a bonus. Oh, I'm sorry I disturbed you. I'm sorry. Okay, so this looks great. Feels great. Doesn't feel super mushy. So I think I added just the right amount. It's still damp in there, but it's not like what it was. Of course, I think I also do have a little bit of moisture in this room. So I think I got a little bit of humidity going on in here. Oh, that's right. The other thing I was gonna do is, this is kind of one nice thing about this thing having a top, is I need to check in on the ones that are put in their separate bins, which I have to remember which one was which because I forgot to mark them. I'm pretty sure this one's the red wiggler and this one's the Euros. But we will find out. And I also need to put a plastic top on these guys. Okay, so their bedding is actually rather dry. So it dried out a little bit more than what I was expecting it to do. So we're gonna have to add some moisture in here. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely add some moisture in here. They're a little dry. A little damp, but they're a little dry. I forgot another glove. Can you even find them? I found them. Definitely gonna add liquid. They will be much appreciated. That means these guys probably need it too. Since I am now learning the conditions of this room, it's a little drier than usual. Okay, so what I gotta do is I've gotta go get some liquid agua for these guys. They need fluids really, really badly. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got me some water. I did about lukewarm, not too cold, not too hot, so I don't cook them. And I am going to just add water little bit by little bit, because remember, it's easier to add, it's harder to take away. So we're just gonna go little bit by little bit. I go around the edges, and because this stuff's pretty dry. So I usually just do like a snake motion, and then I go around the edges. That way it kind of incorporates in the various different areas. Yeah, it's definitely very dry in here. I need to get them a cover top as well. Reader. Okay, that side's still a little dry. So we're gonna go ahead and give it another little douse. It wasn't quite enough. I can pretty much eyeball it that it wasn't enough. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just kind of giving it a quick eyeball. Okay, is that going to be too much? Is that going to be too little? You want to get right in that sweet spot for them. Now this is going to be a breeder bin technically. So they actually require quite a bit more moisture than what we want them to have, as far as the difference between big bin and then the littles. Okay, there we go, the littles. So that'll be perfect. We got Big Ben, I think that was his name, the grandpa, and then the littles. Yeah, I think I just figured out my worm bin theme. The littles. Because that's what I am. I'm a little. So it kind of works. I'm going to have to go ahead and add just a little bit more. It's still pretty wet. Of course, it would probably help if I had my another glove on, but sadly, I only brought one. Or had one. I just kind of reused it. last time. But yeah, these guys, we gotta try and get them up to 80% humidity or moisture in here, which is quite a bit. And that's why that other one started stinking a little bit, because I had to try and get that whole bin into like a breeding mode. We're finding worms. I haven't fed these guys yet either. I put them in here after I got them, and I just kind of left them alone. Unlike, you know, the big bin, which I had to deal with. But these guys, I just left them alone for the past couple days so they could mellow out and stuff from that trip. We're getting moisture back in here. I know, guys, we're working on it. It's a little dry. Now that part's a little wet. So it looks like it's getting there. I need to probably add just maybe a little bit more though. And I'm just, you know, giving them just tap water. I'm off of a well system that is filtered because we have high iron, but we don't have any, you know, chlorine or anything like that we got to worry about. Now, if you've got chlorine, you need to dechlorify it before using it on a worm bin. You could do it either put a dechlorinator in your water, or you could just leave it out for 24 hours so that it can breathe and the chlorine will actually leave. Now, chloramine, on the other hand, you can't get rid of that. If you've got if you know you have got chloramine in your water, you cannot get rid of that by leaving it out. So you'd have to get a solution that does chlorine and chloramine to remove it. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about all that anymore. I'm gonna add a little bit more in here. Since having a well, but the only thing with having our well, with our type of water, it's high in iron. Unsafe levels of iron. Especially here at my place. My mom's is bad, but ours ended up being loads higher than what hers was. So, we have to have a filtration system to combat that. But that's right now, that's all I'm using. It's just to add some moisture back into what they're in currently, since this is a breeding bin and they want it really, really wet. So this breeding bin consists of basically topsoil, sand, and manure mix that I had delivered. And so I added that into here. There's paper shreds. There's pre-compost, my pre-compost from my pre-compost bin. So it's got a little bit of everything for them to munch on throughout and feel like they are in a nature, more of a nature setting. What they would have more so in nature. So I've got leaves for my property, and I don't cook or, you know, disinfect the leaves or anything, because you want those beneficial organisms that come in on those for your bin to decompose. Once in a while I will get a critter I don't want, and my luck is a centipede. I have managed to get a centipede the second time now that I am trying to catch. I finally caught the first one. So this one must be a baby that got hatched out or something. And I think that's good. That's about, as far as a critter goes, that is one I definitely don't want, is centipedes. And then of course, these stupid little fungus gnats that I have acquired. Hello there. So this one is the red wiggler bin. And I need to mark that on this little doodad. And it's not so confusing. Alright. Not that I should be confused, but I have my moments. But yeah, okay. This looks good. This looks so much better. It feels better. It's funny how even in these gloves, you can feel if it's cold, warm, wet, you know, if it's dry or too wet. You can actually feel that through these gloves. It's so... I've never used these gloves before. It's just interesting. I have a hard time trying to find gloves because I wear a small. In some cases, I have to wear child's because I can't find my size. Okay, so these guys are done. I'm gonna get some bubble wrap. Actually, I do have okay, scissors. And then I want to cut it just, I don't want it to fully cover them. They've got to have some airflow. So I cut it just a little bit inside where it was. No, I don't chop my finger off. I gotta do another one for that too. Okay, so the edges are a little bit big, but I think I got enough to where it can breathe. Or we'll just cut it down to size here. Wait. Okay, that's a little better. Now I can still breathe. It's easier just to cut the edges down than the sides. Okay, so there's a bubble wrap cover. And then we will give them some paper on top. I'll fold that in. This paper is a little large. So let's add a little bit. That was a little too large. I don't want to cover them completely. We just want to cover them just a little bit. Okay, there's that. And now we put, there's another one. I should probably use this as a reference before I do that too. I swear, sometimes my heater when it cooks, when it cooks on, it sounds like running water. So weird. There. Oh God, no, just no disturbing Canadians. Don't disturb the Canadians. Oh no. Okay. I don't want to be fighting them for like however long. Okay, so they are now done. This will help hold in their moisture, but they still have airflow. One nice thing I like about the bubble wrap, I actually like the bigger bubble wrap, which I have a bunch of big bubble wrap. I like that one better because then it's bigger bubbles, so the air has more space to move. Little bubbles, not so much. Okay. Now the Euros. These guys definitely need liquid too. It makes more water. I hope not, but this is enough. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. We'll see how that did. Oh, wait, did I mark the wrong bin? Oh, no, these might be the red wigglers. I think I marked the wrong bin. Yep, I think I boo-booed. I reversed it. Wrong bin. I thought I put it in a spot where I would remember. Oh, these are the red wigglers. They're smaller. Good though. So the previous bin apparently was the Euros. I guess I mixed up the bins and I thought that one was it, which it was not. That one was the red wigglers. Nope, this one's the red wigglers. They're tremendously smaller than the other ones. I know one thing, it's hard to do this one with the left-handed glove when you're not left-handed. I'm not left-handed. This is like awkward. Which is funny because my mom's left-handed. Yeah, they look good though. They're just wiggling around. I have more liquid though. Okay, and a little more. I might have to go get a little bit more. This doesn't do it. Okay. So let's see if this does it. Other than that, they look good. They're moving around. And this bin is the same as the other one. Same exact items in it that I put in here. It does have coco coir. It's got a little bit of everything. So, a coco coir, shredded paper, pre-compost with leaves and you know, forest materials. So, and it's got a little bit of sand and topsoil, some manure. It's a big smorgasbord. For worms. But I definitely have to get the moisture aspect in these bins squared away. I did get some bigger concrete mix containers that I want to do them in, just because it's a little bit bigger area. So at some point, right now this is what, 300 worms. I'd like to have a worm bin of at least 600 or more. So I would kind of like to upgrade them later into a bigger setup. And then, you know, go from there. Just so I can help populate my community here. But this actually feels a lot better. It could probably use a little bit more liquid, but I mean it's pretty good. It's fluffy. Still, it's not harm bagged. It doesn't have a bad smell. It just needed a little bit of fluid. Plus, I had put in, when I put them in here, I also put their bedding. So yeah, that sucked up some of the fluid that was in here. So they made them a little dry. So they say give your worms diversity on foods. And I think I actually gave them a wide range of diversity going on in here to munch on. They got lots of goodies. It'll probably actually take them a while to technically work everything down, because there's quite a bit of diversity in here. But you know, as far as their bedding goes, even if I don't actually feed them, you know, they've got that. And I did bring my worm chow. What little bit I got left, I gotta make some more. But I did bring my worm chow down. So I'll just sprinkle some of that on top there. I should probably do this to the other one too. Okay, just sprinkle it around. And then I should do this to my other one. You notice I didn't really go too heavy on the worm chow, because there are still not that many worms in here. This one actually has a little bit more than the other one, so I could probably go a little heavier handed, because there are about 300. But I don't want to do too much, because they are eating all the other stuff as well, and I just don't want to overfeed them. Oh, it's so hard to do this with a glove on. All right. Almost knocked that over. Okay, so these guys are good to go. I'll flip that in there a little bit too. They're sort of up to par. I mean, it's not super sopping wet, but like I, you know, warned, it's easy to add, but it's harder to take away. So I'll check it. Well, check it tomorrow, I think, and make sure it's still holding its moisture in there. Now that I got the bubble wrap, that'll help. And then they will be good to go. So I'll do their paper top. Get it down size. Plus it also helps give it some air, because the bin's gotta breathe. Okay. And then, here we go. And remark them. I gotta remark them. I gotta remember to remark them. Okay, so that is it on the check-in, and I gotta remark them, since this one's the Red Wigglers and not the Heroes. I should have did that right off the bat. I know me. I forgot, and then I mixed them up. Hey, where's the pen? So, Red Wigglers. And then we'll see. I know there's young ones in these bins, and I know there's breeding pairs in these bins. I want to not stress them out too much. So after a while, I'm just going to go ahead and give them a little while. And settle in. Get to growing and doing their thing for a little bit. And then when it's basically time to check in on them for cocoons, then I'll divide out more the breeding pairs, because there's not, I know there's probably not that many actual technical breeding pairs. Oh my goodness, really? Oh, you are such a crybaby. Come on, your tail's dangerous. And then I'll be able to go through and figure out the adults and the young ones, and just pull out the breeding adults. And then leave the young ones in whatever bin they're in, so let them grow up into breeding adults as well. And then I'll just keep going until basically the bin is pretty much done for now, with it constantly, you know, refreshing here and there until I guess they all, you know, are done. And then go from there. And I will keep a couple breeding bins is what I'd like to do. It's a couple breeding bins as they produce more and more, or whatever. And then, yeah, I think it's a plan. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Like and subscribe. I'm not going to try and do a video every day, but I managed to hurt myself Friday. And so I've been paying for it. And yesterday I could barely move. So I just wanted to check in on these guys, because I kind of had my suspicion that they were getting a little dry. And I was right. So that's pretty much all I really wanted to do, was check in, make sure everybody was okay, and give them moisture, which they needed. So, okay, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.